share real experiences that bring out the humor and motivations of regular day-to-day life. You're tuned in to Makeshift Motivation. Fill your cup with us on Facebook Live every Monday. Here are your hosts, Tammy Whistle-Hubbard and Ashley Valdez.
Shirt. I know, right? My shirt came out great.
I love it. Thank goodness.
Up with the Makeshift Motivation t-shirt.
That sparkly vinyl was a pain in the butt.
Sparkly vinyl, y'all. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. I know where everybody can get their very own.
Really? Where is that? Let them know.
Makeshiftmotivation.com.
Boom.
That's it. You can get one of those too.
That's true. Very true. There's a lot going on. A lot of good stuff over there. A lot of good goodies.
That's it. Yes. Makeshift Motivation has a lot of good stuff on it. There's a lot of free stuff on the website too.
Yes.
You can get your journal page, your affirmations, your goal setting page. I mean, we got everything you need to make yourself all better.
Yeah.
Better than better.
Better than ever before.
That's it. While you're there, you can even do your Christmas shopping with t-shirts for everybody.
Yep. T-shirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff for everybody.
That's it. That's it. So anyway, I'm excited about today's episode.
Yes.
We got some pretty stuff for you to look at. Pretty
stuff. Very different. I love it.
Yes. And if you know anybody who is going to be celebrating a big old birthday, you're going to have a party for the birthday, anybody who's having a wedding, an anniversary, this is the lady you need to talk to. She's fabulous. First of all, I met Alicia in one of my marketing groups, and she's actually ordered some advertising stuff from AdWiz.
Nice.
And we were talking, and I was like, oh no, you're going to come on the podcast. Come on. It's going to be fun. So wait until you hear her story. It's really, really cool. So Alicia Garland, her company is Cakes Beyond the Realm.
Cakes Beyond the Realm. And we are going to bring Alicia on. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, Alicia. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Look at her beautiful shirt, you guys.
Everything over there is so nice.
I know. Everything looks so pretty there. All the little sparklies.
Yes.
So, Alicia, your company is called Cakes Beyond the Realm.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I make faux cakes, and they are cakes that the only difference between the faux cakes and traditional cakes is that the interior of the cakes are all styrofoam. So this is what the interior looks like. It's really sturdy, it's lightweight, and it enables you to do a lot more to the cakes than you can to a traditional cake.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, because you wouldn't want to put like sequins and sparkly things and fabrics and stuff. And
these are actual crystals that you can place on the cakes. And these items you can't put on food. They can't go on food because of FDA regulations. So
right.
Wow. She pulled out the crystals so fast. That was like 0 to 100. That was beautiful.
Ashley, this is the perfect wedding cake for you because this is like, these are
wedding cake.
Extra.
They are extra. You're right.
So, Alicia, very unique business model. Tell us what made you decide to do faux cakes. First of all, you have a background in baking.
Yes, I baked cakes for over 30 years and decorated them. But my passion was always with the decorating portion. And so about almost 6 years ago now, I was getting married, and being the bride and having to bake a fresh cake for over 200 people was a large task. I didn't want to have to do that. So I had to think of a way that enabled me to do my own cake because I didn't want someone else to make it. So I said, well, what do? I'll make a faux cake. So that was my very first faux cake. And this is actually the cake here. And my husband and I.
Look at that.
That's so cool.
And this is
it's
all we did. We had a piece of cake, a slice of cake on the side to serve to one another.
Right.
We ordered sheet cakes, to serve to the guests.
I was going to say, so that's the theory is that you have this incredibly beautiful masterpiece of a wedding cake, and then you have sheet cakes that you actually serve to your guest.
Yes.
Now, not only does it enable you to do things with the cake that you would not ordinarily do, but also it saves a little bit of money. Am I correct?
I actually say quite a bit, because on average, you'll save approximately 40% less, sometimes more, than a traditional bakery will charge you for a cake. And then that money can be used for your event, your savings, or whatever, for baby shower. Put that money in the bank for your baby, the savings.
Right.
There you go.
A wedding, use that money towards either other wedding expenses or savings towards your first home, things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
a wedding
awesome.
cake can get really expensive. A wedding cake is actually quite an investment,
Wedding cakes now can range in the thousands of dollars,
Yes.
So
yes.
for instance, if you have a wedding cake that's $1,000, you're saving $400 on average.
Right, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you can, I mean, I actually know somebody that got married and their wedding cake was like $3,000. It was ridiculous.
I've done wedding cakes, even a faux cake. I've done a faux cake for that amount, but it was so extravagant, and it had Swarovski crystals on it. But the bakery was going to charge over $1,000 more than she paid me.
This is blowing my mind. I've never been married. I wouldn't have ever known this, but gee.
Yeah. A wedding
Wow.
You put, like, for instance, like I mentioned, the crystals, you put the lighting on those crystals and it just illuminates.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, spectacular.
Yeah.
So, did you have your own business when you were baking? That was your...
Well, I worked full time because I had my two sons, and I was always encouraged to branch off and just do it solely. But having, as you well know, having your own business is risky. So I wanted to have the security of knowing that, health insurance or college for my sons. So once my youngest son graduated from college, I said, okay, now it's time for me to take that leap of faith and just do it on my own. So for 2 years now, I've been Cakes Beyond the Realm on my own. So,
and Alicia,
I've had the company for 5 years and officially being licensed and everything, but to actually solely do this, without another source of income, this is 2 years. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Congratulations, you have your own business. Oh, pandemic.
Yeah.
I know, Alicia, it's been a ton of fun. I know. But I'm going to ask you because I already know the answer to the question, but you're right around my age, actually. We're both in our 50s, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I'm 59.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're 59. I'm going to be 55, I think. I don't know. I always tell people I'm 53, but I don't think I've actually been 53 for quite some time.
I'm dating myself. I'll be 59 in April. I'm sorry. I almost forgot.
Yeah, you got a ways to go.
Once I get to the 6 months mark, I'm in the next stage. So.
Oh, wow. Yep. Gotcha. That's so
So it just goes to show you, everybody, you are never too old to follow a dream.
Never.
Never, ever too old.
Never too old and never too young either, because we just had business owners who were, how old was she? She was turning 22, 23.
Well, you have some young entrepreneurs now, they're 12 and 13 years old with the parents.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You never
have that, faith in God and then faith in yourself to say, okay, I'm going to do this. So, because I was with my last employer for 16 years. Mm-hmm. And I really loved what I was doing because I worked with senior citizens. I worked with seniors first, and I enjoyed it. It was just a pleasure. But at the same time, I had this passion to do what I felt I had a gift to do, and I wanted to do it solely. So I took a leap.
And here you are. That's amazing.
Awesome. Yep.
That's fantastic. So awesome. Like you said, you raised your family. It's like, all right, I did my time, and now it is my time.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I did my time.
Because if you don't do it, then you'll always wonder, what if?
What if?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And for Ashley, it was a big deal too to not be constrained, because she has twin boys. So for her, working outside the home was really not anything that she ever wanted to do. She did it for a while until she was able to, bring herself back inside.
Right.
And they say everything happens for a reason, Ashley, because if the pandemic had happened and you still worked outside the home,
that would have been scary.
Yeah, there's no way. We worked with importing and exporting at the airport, and that all got shut down. So there's no way I would have been a bad one. But luckily, somebody somewhere knew what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Silver lining in everything, because it's always there. So you just have to make the best of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit, Alicia, about exactly how these cakes are made. Because you were telling us earlier that if you walk up to the cake and you smell the cake, it's going to smell like actual cake.
Sure. So now you can see this. This was a cake for a Prince tribute that was on an international drive. They did a tribute to Prince.
Wow.
We have the dove and the guitar, his guitar. But when you go to the cake and actually, inhale, you'll smell the aroma of the fondant icing. Because actually, that's when you smell a cake, you're not smelling the cake, you're smelling the icing on top of the fondant.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, I take the styrofoam gummies and I cover them with the fondant icing. And then in turn, these are all handmade sugar flowers. And so these flowers, and if you want different, they look lifelike. These are all flowers that I made to go on different cakes. This is an example. And so when you go up to the cake, you wouldn't know unless someone told you that it was a faux cake. And then I also include an opening on the side for weddings, anniversaries, so you can go through that ceremonial,
Right, so it looks like you're cutting actual cake, even though you're not really. So that's awesome for pictures and things like that. It's really smart, very creative.
You can put anything on the cakes that you like to put on the cake. I've put ostrich feathers. I think I have one here. She actually wanted this cake. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That you guys.
The lightest.
No, we can see it. We can see
You're
it.
good, yeah. It's all.
And then this was the bride. And then another good thing about the faux cakes is that this was almost 2 months before her wedding, and the cake was done.
So they're
able to come and see the final product. And if there's some minor changes that you want, but most people don't see the final cake until they go to the event. And if it's something that you don't care for, it's just too late.
It's too late. You got to do what you got to do.
And you can make if for instance, now there have been a lot of cancellations or postponements. Well, this cake is almost 5 years old. This Prince cake. And you see the way it looks.
It's beautiful.
If you want to have a wedding cake and it was postponed for whatever reason, you can still have your cake available when the time comes.
My goodness.
So,
wow.
This is incredible.
So it'll stay beautiful, obviously. Is there a shelf life on it, Alicia, where it's just like...
No, because you're not eating it.
You're not eating it, right. Wow.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's amazing.
That's so cool.
A baby shower.
Oh my God, I love that. Look at the little baby butt. Oh.
And in this instance, it will go from the shower to the nursery. And it can stay there for 2 or 3 years of decoration.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really
so
cool.
You're not talking about just
a baby shower.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
She had twins.
So this is truly something that you're going to be able to keep and use as a decorative item.
This is an investment. This is at her shower. I don't know if you can see. But now this is in the nursery here.
Yeah, so it's a decoration.
This is like, I can see no wrong. First of all, you can make them as extravagant and extra as I would say as you want. They last like forever.
Right.
You can reuse them, multi-purpose cakes, faux cakes, and you're saving money at the same time. There's this is just blowing my mind.
Of it as an investment, and you want to recoup your money. You don't want to, in most instances, people don't eat all of that cake anyway at your event. And then you're walking out the door and you're leaving it behind you. Well, in this instance, if you wanted to, you could sell your cake on Etsy or to someone that you knew, or you can rent your cake. Once you pay for it, it belongs to you.
Rent your cake.
That's genius. You could rent the cake. I love that.
The cake I showed you with the ostrich feathers, when she was standing next to it, she still has it. I said, well, why don't you just either sell it or rent it? She said, no, she has it on top of her curio.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We all know when we first get married, we have the hutch and we have the cake toppers in the hutch with our champagne glasses and the knives that cut the cake and our pictures and all that. Yeah. If I had had the cake too, oh my heavens, that would have been so nice. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So you're getting more for your investment. You know, you're getting more.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So, truly, like Ashley just said, it's a win-win-win because you're saving money, you're getting a cake that's going to last you forever, and you could even conceivably make money with the cake, like you said.
Right, oh my.
And in the event that they just don't want the cake at all, for a nominal cost, now I will give them, for instance, because all I'm going to do is to break it down and use the interior. So if they don't want it at all, I'll say, okay, well, if you want to, then you still get something back in return.
Right. Wow. Right, because you can reuse the interior of it if you have to. I gotcha. I wouldn't want to do that, though. I'll be honest. If I was the bride and I had a customer do that,
they've always kept their cake.
Yeah, I would never want to do that either. I'd be like, that's my cake. I'm not giving it back.
And for senior citizens, they love the cake. Because it's something that they can, look at either on their dining room table or somewhere in their house. And it's a memento for them to keep, especially during the holidays. And sometimes they may not have a tree there, but if you have a Christmas cake there, or, it's just something that they see sentimental value in. Yeah.
I could totally see it like for a 50th wedding anniversary or a 25th anniversary where you have, you do a party, even if you're just doing. Now, let me ask you this, Alicia, that brings up another question. Is there a size requirement for you before you will actually make a cake? Like,
no, I've done, let me give you an example. This is a small piece here, and I make cakes like this for the high school seniors with graduation cap on top.
Oh.
And then you have the school crest or emblem there.
Logo, yeah.
And with the tassel coming down, they're really nice. They're great momentum to graduate from, and then the college grads, things of that nature. So,
wow.
Okay, so this isn't something where you have to do some huge, like gigantic wedding cake if you're having, huge guests. Even if you're having, as now a lot of people are with COVID, we're kind of locked into having smaller, more intimate affairs. Mm-hmm. So you could do a smaller cake and still
have to be extravagant if you're more of the simplistic, style. And you want something that's traditional, any style you want. I always advise my customers to look at my site and then also go on Pinterest. And if you see something on Pinterest you like, and also we can combine styles of cakes. So, we can take an aspect of this cake, that cake, and another cake and put them all together.
So you work really closely with your customers to make sure that, and let me tell you something about Alicia, everybody. I can 1,000,000% guarantee you will not meet anybody who is more involved with the details than Alicia is, because she wants it to be perfection.
Ashley, I thought that Tammy would just say, okay, I'm done with you. Okay, Tammy, that's nice. But actually, this aspect over here, I need to have that a little bit different. Tammy did my logo for the shirts also. So I knew I wanted it to look a certain way and have a certain aesthetic, look to it. And well, that's not quite it right there yet. So if I have a customer that's way, I have no problem with it because I understand it.
Because you Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, something like a cake for your wedding or a cake for a special anniversary or birthday party, it's a big deal. It's the centerpiece of your table. It's, it's an important aspect of the party. So knowing that you have somebody who's going to really pay attention to the details and make sure that that's absolute perfection for you, I think that's huge.
Also, for instance, when you mentioned that, Tammy, with wedding cakes, I like to incorporate, I don't know if you can see this, but my gown had bands on it here.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore I tried to incorporate that into the style of the cake. To emulate, what the gown.
Yes.
So, and the same with the other cake with the ostrich feathers. Her gown, we use that as the catalyst to style design for her cake.
Very cool. Yes.
Y'all, this is some really, really fancy stuff.
This is so nice. So you mentioned, Christmas cakes. I'm assuming you'd also be able to do Thanksgiving cakes for our little Thanksgiving get-togethers.
Or fall cakes. It's the fall season now, so if you want those,
everything cakes. Yep, just making sure the listeners know. Hook it up. Cakes by the rim.
Yeah, and New Year's, coming up.
Yeah, everything coming up. Everything cake.
And you know what? Even though we are kind of locked into doing those smaller, get-togethers these days, we can't do, most of us are not doing, 200 people parties and that kind of stuff.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you can't make the event that you are having still incredibly special.
Nice, yes.
And I think that's really a huge way to do that, is to make that special cake to have with your event.
Right, and you think about it this way: just as you have some people that will use their Christmas decorations again the following year because it's a tradition for them to use certain colors and everything. Well, if you have a cake, you can use that cake as a centerpiece the next year also. That can, the cakes will last you if you don't. Break something, if you put them away, put them aside, not away encased in anything, but just somewhere where they're protected from not being hit, then that can be used for 4 or 5 years, to come.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. So it's not just a decoration you're getting for this year. You're not going to throw it away at the end of your event. You're going to use it again for next year. So like Ashley suggested, the Thanksgiving or fall cakes or Christmas cakes, you would be able to use them for many years to come.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea.
That's so cool.
I mean, really.
Think about it. People have seen, they think of the faux cake concept as something new, but you've seen them for years. Because when you go to a bakery and you look in the window,
right,
you see faux cake.
No, you're right. I never really thought about that, but you're absolutely right. Even when you go to, like the grocery store places, sometimes they have display cakes out that are not real cakes, and I never really thought about
some
that.
Bakeries that will incorporate, because you see some people, they may only have 100 people at the wedding, but they have this enormous cake because a portion of the cake is probably faux, probably styrofoam. But the reason that I don't incorporate real cake into my cakes, traditional cakes, is because I utilize materials that aren't allowed on food. So therefore, if a pearl or a crystal were to drop into that portion that's edible, then I'm liable when you choke on it.
Right. Wow.
Anyway, but I can't assume that liability. So I'm licensed to do faux cakes.
Wow. Okay. That's really awesome. And then I'm assuming, Alicia, that you would just suggest that once a person buys a faux cake, then they just get like an actual sheet cake to serve.
And you can have the sheet cakes in your favorite flavor, your German chocolate, your red velvet, your buttercream, whatever you want, strawberry, because they can bake your cake in any form you want. Because when you pay for your traditional wedding cakes, you're not paying for the cake. You are paying for it, but the major cost is going into your decoration. That's the expertise. Right. You're paying for that expertise of decorating. So you can have someone to make your favorite flavored cake, or if you're not particular like me, I wanted something that just taste good and was palatable and was really, good. And so I went to Sam's and I ordered sheet cakes. And when they cut the wedding slices of sheet cakes are, relatively small.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so cool.
So you get a lot of people fed with just one sheet cake.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
So much saving money. So
I
much.
know. Like, just a great idea for everybody too.
Yes.
So now, you are in the Orlando area, so you're servicing all of Central Florida and beyond. So if somebody did, need a significant cake, obviously, and it was a ways away from you, you would obviously work with them depending on what
Sure.
they need.
Mm-hmm. If it's a smaller cake, it may not be worth their while to, for the distance.
Right.
Because of course, I do just as regular bakeries charge you. I charge for delivery instead of all.
Right. Well, of course. So you'll deliver the cake to the venue or to the home wherever, and you'll set it up and everything. So the bride or the birthday girl or the anniversary coordinator doesn't have to do anything. You just do it all.
And the good thing about it is that the bride or the if it's not a surprise, they've already seen their cake. They know what to expect. They don't have to worry, is it going to look like what I wanted it to look like, or will I be disappointed? Or no, you'll know in advance exactly what your cake looks like.
I love that. A little bit less stress.
Yeah. And like Alicia was saying,
I my god sister got married years ago in Miami, and when we got to the venue for the reception, of course, the bride is still at the church taking pictures. So when we arrived, the baker was there setting up the cake. And I said to a friend, I said, the cake is leaning. And sure enough, when they left, the cake fell. And back long ago, you had the cakes with the staircases and, going up in the houses, and it all fell. And I was so brokenhearted for her because I tried to tell them that the cake was leaning. And no, it's fine. The cake was leaning and the cake fell. So this is something you don't want to
cry.
Because sometimes when you're dealing with, especially in Florida, with different temperature variants, so hot now, that can occur because it starts to melt. The buttercream and the things in between, and it starts to slide. Yeah. So this is something you don't